second. Huh, it's not adding me to the screen. Give me just a second. Okay, you guys can see me now. Sorry about that. I'm having some issues with with StreamYard today. I don't know why it's not playing my intro video. I want to see if it's gonna play it. Give me just a second, and we'll start the show. Hey, you guys, welcome back to the Alpha platform. I apologize. StreamYard's having some technical issues this afternoon, so just bear with me here. Things are moving a little bit slower than normal because of StreamYard. So far, we got one person in the house. Thank you so much for joining. Do not forget to hit the like button. We can get more brothers to join us as well. We got 3 people now. Hit the like button, you guys, so we can get more brothers in the house. We got a comment from Girl Jones. I want to read this very quickly. She says, Alfred, please get to the show when you come on here. I was laughing because she made it sound like I never get to the show. Like I never get straight to the point. I always do. I just want to give people a moment to get with us. So yes, we got 3 people in the house. If you guys leave likes on the video, more people will come as they will see it through the YouTube algorithm. So thank you so much. All right, you guys. I'm going to kick off this show talking about Terrence Howard. I think we've all seen the comments thus far about Terrence Howard. He recently went on the Patrick Bet-David podcast, if you're not aware. And he made some very disturbing remarks regarding manhood once when he was talking about P. Diddy and his encounters with Diddy. Let's get into it. I want to share my screen very quickly, and I will get into the article. So the reason why I'm showing more articles these days is because YouTube is making it nearly impossible to fully monetize your live streams when you play other YouTubers' content. So I just try not to do it. If I can stay away from it, I will. But anyhow, this says Terrence Howard. Give me just a moment. I want to blow this up. Terrence Howard claims Sean Diddy Combs tried to have sex with him. He says, quote, "I don't bend over in that way." So yeah, we're gonna break down what Terrence Howard had to say. So it says Terrence Howard made the shocking claim in a new interview that Sean Diddy Combs, who was facing federal sex trafficking charges and a host of sexual assault lawsuits, attempted to come on to him. We're not surprised by that, all right? He said, quote, "Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come teach him how to blank. Wanted me to be his acting coach for a while." End quote. The Hustle and Flow star 56 alleged on the PBD podcast Friday. However, Howard claimed that when he would visit Combs 55 to work on acting material, the embattled rapper would just be sitting and looking at him. All right. The Get Rich or Die Trying actor alleged that Combs then asked to hear his music, but when he tried playing it for him, the Bad Boy Records founder was allegedly once again just sitting there. All right. I'll get into Terrence Howard's actual comments through a video clip in just a moment. This is Patrick Bet-David, by the way. If you're not familiar with him, I do not encourage you guys to support this dude here. Can you see him? If you can't see him, let me know. But this is PBD. He's very popular on YouTube. He has over 1 million subscribers and whatnot. Just blows up on YouTube all the time. But he's very ignorant towards LGBT plus people. Very right wing. This is a dude who's from Iran who was shocked when the MAGA people came after him, saying, our founding fathers are not your founding fathers. Your founding fathers are in Iran. So they seem to not know. These Iranian people, these militant people seem to not know race in America or politics in America. And they feel like just because they have money, they are white. But you and I as black people, we know just because you have money, you're still a black person. They don't care about none of that. It's all about how you look, your racial background and whatnot. Anyhow, moving right along. The article says, what happened there? What happened there? Give me just a second. Man, I must have clicked on the ad. Article says Howard said he was confused by this alleged behavior, so we asked his assistant for clarity. Howard's assistant allegedly responded, quote, "I think he's trying to F you," end quote, which prompted the Iron Man actor to allegedly cut off all communication with Combs moving forward. Quote, "Now you know to be hands off with somebody," Howard explained before noting he allegedly has similar experiences with a number of producers whom he had to threaten to punch or knock their heads off. He says this, "When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back," the Best Man star added on the podcast. "I've lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that shit because that man card means everything." All right, this is him with P. Diddy. We'll get back on this later. Him with Diddy hugged up, booed up. They're doing their thing. It goes on to say, Howard's allegations come 10 years after Page Six exclusively report that Combs had banned one of his sons from appearing on the actor's hit show Empire. Okay. Diddy kicked up a huge stink and called all the top brass of 20th Century Fox TV to get them to change their rules over music rights, but he didn't get his way. An insider claimed, let's end this story by saying this, quote, he said there was no way his son was signing over his intellectual property, so he banned him from the show. It's unclear whether Combs' decision had anything to do with his apparent strained relationship with Howard. All right, this is Diddy and Howard. I want to read some comments here. Let's see if I can get some here. Kimberly Ann says, so bullets up a little bit for you guys. Kimberly Ann says, so what he is trying to say is anyone who allowed him to attack them no longer, quote, hold their man card. So disappointed in Terrance for what seems to be victim blaming because they weren't real men for not fighting him off. I definitely agree. And that's why I want to read the comment first. Unfortunately, a lot of black men feel this way. When they hear about men being taken advantage of, they automatically relegate to the fact that this dude gave up his man card when that was not the case with these victims. These victims were under the influence, meaning they cannot consent. They cannot fight back. Many of them were asleep during this time. So it's not like they willingly gave up their quote unquote man card. And let's say they gave it up because they wanted to. So what? So what? Like, what is a man and what really makes a man a man? Is it all about the sex and what you do with your sexual organs? Or is it about your character? Is it about being a provider? Is it about your internal characteristics and whatnot? I'm tired of specifically black men making manhood about sexuality. It has nothing to do with sexuality. Because many of us as gay men are taking care of their baby mamas, their kids, whenever they've fallen out with their baby mamas, here we are as gay people to save the day. Many of us are taking care of our single relatives, especially single black females in our family, helping them out with bills and whatnot, because the men in their lives have let them down repeatedly. So what is it about masculinity that we really need to talk about? Like, is it true that it's only about sexual organs, or can it be much more than that? Because in my mind, masculinity is much more than what we do with our sexual organs and who we decide to love. Period. ERBY, thank you for joining the stream, man. Welcome to the Brotherhood. You said facts. I'm happy you agree. Yeah, it's a lazy read. It's lazy intellectually. And I want to get to Terrence Howard's actual comment. So let's see if I can pull this video up and we will get into it. This is from IG. It says Terrence Howard claims Diddy tried to spark a sexual relationship with him. Excuse me. Okay, here he goes.
Teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I'm playing the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach.
Okay, we got that. I think it's all about, when he says a real man, it's just so, I don't want to call it triggering. I just hate the inference that people who engage in same-sex relationships, they are not real men. We get it from heterosexual black men. We get it from heterosexual black women. At what point is this going to change? I don't know, but I just find it to be so offensive and annoying. The fact that they always relegate it back to what we do with our sexual organs. And I cannot stand Patrick Bet-David. Like, I cannot stand this man. Blocked him on YouTube a long time ago. I feel like they put together this podcast just to go viral. Just to have a moment and go viral. And that's exactly what happened, because they have over 1 million views on this show, on this podcast, in only 4 days. So it's working. It's working. Being the most hateful, vile, going online, spewing hateful rhetoric is what's going to make you blow up and popular these days. And it's so sad. It's very, very sad. Let's read some comments here. Shield category says Maine, laugh face emoji. I am tasty. Tasty says, she just posted a meme with Terrence Howard punching him out. Okay, who is Marlo says that's AI, right? Shemi Webb says this is a clip you guys make go viral when he has been making scientific discoveries. Exactly. I told y'all, like, this man, I truly feel like Terrence Howard has something going on in the background that he's trying to bring attention to. And his way of doing it is using the gays, is using what's happening with Diddy to draw attention to himself, therefore drawing attention to his projects as well. And I think he's just lazy. Like, if you want to promote something, you have something you want it to be out in the public, do it yourself. Don't do it off the backs of hatred towards the gays and the girls. Last comment, Main Magazine says, what I learned from this is that if Diddy, what they say he and his, Terrence, he and his, when y'all write these posts, bro, like, this stuff be a mess to read. What they say he, his, and Terrence Howard could say no and still had an A-list career, that you had choice to say yes or no and still be successful in the industry. That's kind of right, Despite him saying no, and despite him inferring the fact that they have to do something strange for a piece of change to get into Hollywood, Terrence Howard still was able to be successful in the Hollywood industry and as an actor, Same thing with Cat Williams, still successful. So it's not like you're being forced to give up some booty just to get roles. Like, that's not what this is. Like, you're still able to be successful. You just may not have the machine behind you. And I think a lot of these straight dudes are jealous about that. They feel a way about that, and they want to see that system dismantled. I feel no ways about it. Let's read some comments here. We got a lot of people in the house. 11 people in the house. Hit that like button, you guys, so we get more brothers to join us. We got Benjamin Johnson in the house. He says, yeah, it's an ignorant mindset. It definitely is, man. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, unfortunately. In a lot of black people's mind, you're either black or you're gay, but you can't be both. And the reason why they feel that way is because they feel like being gay is a European invention. Like honestly, like, we honestly have no gay people in the black community. That's their mindset. We have no gay people in the black community, as if we've never been there, as if we don't have like a trans aunt, trans cousin, gay brothers and sisters, lesbian brothers and sisters. It's like we never existed. So thank you, Benjamin Johnson. It is a very ignorant mindset that's not going anywhere, because I think black people don't understand the idea of intersectionality. You can be both at the same time. Like, I'm black and gay at the same time. I don't have to choose. Black women are black and women at the same time. They don't have to choose. Black men, they're black and men at the same time. They don't have to choose. But why do we black LGBT people have to choose between being black or LGBT? Very ignorant. You said, it's like they try to lessen us with comments like that. They do. A lot of people feel a way about us coming up in society, and they're just gonna have to eat it. They're gonna have to eat it because we're not going anywhere. We got John in the house. Thank you for joining the Brotherhood. Welcome to the stream. You said these anti-gay podcasts and YouTube channels are performative at best. They are. But wait a minute. They're also very popular. And they're very popular with the young adults, the young men. And that's a disturbing thing, So young men are now blaming women, gays, minorities, anything but a straight, white, heterosexual man is being blamed for why straight white men are not able to do as well in this economy as they have in previous decades and centuries. It's unfortunate, but they're believing the hype. And why shouldn't they? Trump got reelected. Why shouldn't they? So this is why I come on here and talk about politics and whatnot, because whatever is going down on social media in this White House is going to impact us as LGBT plus people. It's gonna hit us and impact us. So we'll get into much more stuff, a deeper dive later on in the show. ERBY says, so frustrating. Definitely, man. It's so frustrating. We got 15 people in the house. Do not forget to like the stream so we get more brothers to join us. You said, a side note, on your next live, can you share more about how you and your husband manage real estate? I'll tell you now. You know what? I'll say that for the queer money segment of the show. Ask me during the queer money segment, and I will tell you guys how we manage our real estate from living, I would say, halfway across the country away from our duplex. So I'll tell you. Very, very easy. Darion in the house, he says, I know a few straight men that have been gay. Gay is the best way to go. Okay. Thank you for the comment, man. I greatly appreciate it. So that's Terrence Howard, his IG post. Other people have come out against Terrence Howard, including Gene Deal. I wanted to play his YouTube response, but I'm scared about being demonetized, because every time I play YouTube creators' videos on my live streams, they tend to get demonetized, and I hate it. I hate it, so I stopped doing it. One more comment before I go in. if you infer gay into any story, it immediately gets energy from black men. So insecure. Yeah, it does. It does. It does. Like black people in general, if you put gay, booty bumping, booty bandit, the terms that people like to use to get people's attention on the shade room and whatnot, it definitely would get black people's attention because white people don't care. Latino people may care a little bit. Asian people are like, what? Arab people, Middle Eastern people, they're like, what? But the only people that care are us as black people, and I don't know why we care so much. We shouldn't, but we do. All right, you guys. So that's Terrence Howard. Let me know what you guys think about his comments below. I don't want to go into Gene Deal's response because, again, I don't want to be demonetized. So we'll go into my next story here. Give me just a second. So we're going to talk about an NFL story that just broke. So basically, we have an NFL player named Khalil Saunders, and he decided to start a youth football camp that is LGBT plus friendly. I want to let the video play, read some comments, and I'll come back with my commentary. Let's go.
Kind of one of my events that I hold every year with that organization is to my football combine, where I'm going to be actually having one of the first LGBTQ friendly camp, football combine camp type of things, just day of play in general, just to get kids out. And that's my goal, is just to, continue to spread positive energy around that. And, because everybody, football is for everybody, and football is for all. I think that we're getting closer to that in general as a society, but I'm just trying to do my part. I feel like being an ally is more than just saying that I support, but it's also kind of showing up. Obviously, being in the NFL is very, male dominant and heterosexual dominant, and it's not really, feels as if there's not really a space for the LGBTQ community. But with just working with organizations like with the GLAAD Media Awards and also the NFL Pride Football Combine or football clinic that they had during the Super Bowl week, I was actually able to go out there and kind of get to talk to some of the people that were participating in it, and it was a great conversation. Who feel like they have to be hidden, although they might love the sport. They might love the NFL, might love football in general as a sport. But they kind of shy away from it just because of orientations or all of these other kind of outside things, and that's kind of why that's kind of my goal. And I actually started up an organization, my foundation, Original Element Foundation, and that's kind of my pillars, is just inclusivity. Bringing everybody together with the power through the power of football. And kind of one of my events that I hold every year with that organization is to my football combine, where I'm going to be actually having one of the first LGBTQ friendly camp, football combine camp type of things. Just
okay. So we heard Khail's response, Caitlin's response, and what he plans to do with his NFL youth camp. I think it's great. Let's get into some comments, and I'll get back to my commentary. It says, neighbors, get into this. NFL star Khalil Saunders is taking his alliance with the LGBTQ community to another level. He is planning on hosting a youth football camp that is LGBTQ friendly. While on Good Morning Football, Saunders explained he felt the camp was necessary because being an ally goes deeper than just saying it. He believes that football should be confined to just heterosexual males. I think they meant to say should not be confined to just heterosexual males. So he wants to make sure that people of all sexual orientations feel free to participate in the sport. All right, let's get to some comments here. So Miss Jasmine Masters, the legendary Jasmine Masters, says, at least for the ones who are open with their lifestyle, we all know there is some gays paying now. They just haven't come out, and they don't need to come out. Just don't be messing around with women. That has 21 likes from the legendary Jasmine Masters. She about to get one more like from me because it's Jasmine Masters. I am Maddie Perfect, or I am May Perfect, says, I mean, if you know how to play, what does being gay matter? That has almost 5,000 likes, you guys. It's Simone says it's already gay players. If y'all think it's not, y'all funny. Now, I read a few comments. Let me give my commentary. These people are absolutely right. The NFL is packed with gay people, specifically the coaches. The coaches, like, if we, I did a video about talking about the DL detective a few days ago, but essentially a lot of these coaches are gay. You know, there's always people on the team who are very shy and quiet. Those tend to be the gay ones. I know because I was one of those dudes on these teams. Like I played football, basketball, track, cross country. I did it all as a young adult. I did it all. And I was that shy guy, you know, like, but what I found is that people really respect you for your talent and your hard work. They don't care about your sexual orientation. As long as you're helping them win games, they don't care. So what I want to say about that is this. Is this a money grab from Caitlin Saunders? Because Caitlin Saunders is a heterosexual man. And, you know, I appreciate this is the dream of our ancestors. This is the dream of the ancestors, the gay ancestors, is that we would have allyship like this. But now that we have it, I'm kind of questioning it and thinking, is this a money grab? Because we all know the gays have the money and people are trying to look for new intuitive ways to make that money. So if he plans to make this a youth LGBT friendly league, what is he planning to do to attract this type of talent to his youth camp? You know, outside of his youth camp, is he talking to LGBT plus people? Is he, you know, helping out in our community? Is he, you know, supporting the charities, supporting to HRC? What is he doing politically now that we're losing rights? Like, these are the questions I have to see if he's an authentic ally. Because I just don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this an authentic ally, an authentic move? Let me know in the comments what you guys think, because I don't know. I just have to wait and see. But I do have mixed feelings about it. You know, I'm not going to lie. A part of me liked the fact that in the early 2000s, early to mid 2000s, there was not a lot of social media. So the straight people did not know about where we hung out at. They did not know about our sexcapades and whatnot because there was no social media to post it on. So now that our lives as gay people are so public, that opens us up to a lot of scrutiny and, you know, for a lot of abuse and for people to take advantage of us and to use us as money grabs. And I just kind of miss the days when we had our own exclusive gay clubs, bars, clubs for sexcapades and whatnot. Every move forward comes with a cost. And I'm wondering if we're going to pay a cost in the future because we're so visible now. You know, we're just so visible and we're on the straight people's minds. Where when I was growing up, we were not on their minds like that. We weren't. All right, let's read some comments here. We got Twinlet in the house. Thanks for joining the stream. You're an OG. I greatly appreciate all your love and support. You said it all seems so old to me. The black community has bigger problems to focus on. Absolutely, we absolutely do. All right. Zoko Solo. I like the name. Zoko Solo in the house. He says, gay guy in my class is sexual harassing me. I went to the police instead to go to school first. Bro, I don't know if you're trolling in my comments, but if you're being harassed that way, you know, do whatever you have to do to stop the harassment. I don't know what to tell you. You know, I don't know what to tell you. It just seemed like you're trolling. ERBUS says, really? Wow. Lastly, Twinlet says, yep, I always question your actions. I thoroughly vet the heterosexuals in my life. Yeah, it's getting to a point as a gay man when I'm starting to think I will never have any straight male friends. That's where I'm at my age, because it's so polarized in today's society that it feels like you must pick a side. Like you must pick a side, and like people are drawing the lines via what you believe. And I have to say, I kind of agree with that, because I cannot be friends with you if you're voting against my rights. You know, voting against the ability for me to put my husband on my health insurance plan. Excuse me. I don't want to vote for you if you're voting for me to be treated as a second-class citizen. So as I get older, I'm leaning towards the fact that, and just coming to a realization that I may not have any straight male friends, and that is okay with me. We're just different. We have different priorities, different agendas, different beliefs. I cannot coexist with an individual who has different beliefs from myself. I can't do it. I can't. We got 19 people in the house. Hit that like button so we get more brothers to join us. I want to take a moment to just like shout out. Thank you, Uncle Kirk, for your $10 super chat last time we spoke. I greatly appreciate all the love and support you showed the channel. Thank you guys so much for your love and support as well. I greatly appreciate everything that you guys do for me. All right, you guys. So that was NFL player Khalil Saunders and what he had to say about his youth football league camp or whatever. I want to move on to my next story. We're going to talk about Wayne Brady. You know, Wayne Brady has been on everybody's radar, the gay dude's radar, for quite some time now. And I would say it's because of his butt. You know, the gays have been fascinated with this dude, the way this dude is caked up and the way this dude is shaped up. Let me see if I can show y'all real quick before I get into the Wayne Brady story. Let me see if I can show y'all. Give me just a second, y'all. Wait, I want y'all to see why the gay dude has been like talking about Wayne Brady for the longest. And I'm glad this dude finally came out and said what he said, because it confirmed what a lot of the gays were thinking. All right, let me share my screen. Give me just a second. Okay, just a moment. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Yep, you can. All right, let's check out Wayne Brady. So this is Wayne Brady, some of his stunts on his show, just showing off his butt. Dude knows what he got. Next, big butt crew in the house. All right, we got Wayne Brady here showing off that butt again. You know, flexing his little body, bending over, touching the toes. You know, you name it, Wayne Brady is doing it. What show was he on, by the way? He was on a show, Let's Make a Deal was his show. So, you know, Wayne Brady, you know, he got the baker's dozen, right? You know, he has a baker's dozen. And a lot of the gays have been chasing him for over a decade, like really in his DMs, being thirsty. Well, I got some news for you. So it says, catch the Jason Lee Show extravaganza as Wayne Brady talks about being a pansexual. Watch tomorrow only on Zeus Network. If you don't know, pansexual means you're attracted to all genders. You know, Wayne Brady, he came out to say he was pansexual. I'll play the video in just a second. He came out to say he was pansexual. I would say, was that a few years ago, like right after the pandemic started? We were all like, where is this coming from, bro? Like, why? Like, why now? And I truly believe it's because somebody was threatening to out him. Like, it was just a matter of time. Maybe one of the trans girls, maybe one of the gay guys, but he just felt like I needed to come out. And I feel like it's because somebody was threatening him. Let's get into this interview with Jason Lee.
Say what you, no, I won't. Not to appease you.
Right.
Because, and I'm talking specifically to that person, why would I try to make you say something that you're not? The reason that I came to that conclusion about myself is because maybe I do meet a man. Maybe I do meet a woman. Maybe I do, whomever I meet in that circle, I can show up without having someone like a Jason Lee or somebody else who exists in this space going, I've got the tea. Guess who I just saw? Blind item. Stepping into the place, holding hands with someone unexpected. Let's just say they both were in heels. I don't need any of that.
First of all, don't lump me in whoever you just described, because I don't do it, although we're all laughing behind the scenes because I don't need to do that. Do you find trans attractive?
I think it depends on the person, right?
It's the energy.
That's the whole point. And
we got to get you in the community. Let's go to West Hollywood or something.
which is what so many people were
Wayne,
expecting.
I'm about to help
right
you
after
pop
that.
your gay cherry. We about to go.
Okay, one more time, you guys. We started kind of late. One more time.
Pansexuality, that means you're attracted to everybody.
In the comments, watch. Just say you gay. Just say you gay. No,
Why you say it just the way they're
because
gonna say
I've
it
heard
too?
that person.
Wait, say that, yeah.
Just say you gay. Just say what you. No, I won't. Not to appease you.
Right.
Because, and I'm talking specifically to that person. Why would I try to make you say something that you're not? The reason that I came to that conclusion about myself is because maybe I do meet a man. Maybe I do meet a woman. Maybe I do, whomever I meet in that circle, I can show up without having someone like a Jason Lee or somebody else who exists in this space going, I've got the tea. Guess who I just saw? Blind item. Stepping into the place, holding hands with someone unexpected. Let's just say they both were in heels. I don't need any of that.
First of all, don't lump me in whoever you just described, because I don't do it, although we're all laughing behind the scenes because I don't need to do that. Do you find trans attractive?
I think it depends on the person, right?
It's the energy.
And that's the whole point. And
We got to get you in the community. Let's go to West Hollywood or something.
which is what so many people were
Wayne, I'm about
expecting.
to help you
after
pop
that.
your gay cherry. We about to go.
Okay. This is what we had to say to Jason Lee. The full interview is out today. If you have a chance to see it, go see it. Let me know about it. Let's read some comments here. Sub-Zero Crew says, that closet has always been glass, poo. All right. That has 500 likes. Rude ass Sean says, I can't deal with it. Girl, bye. This is a Nene Leaks meme. All right. It's Tempter says, all that beating around the bush. That has 700 likes. AJ says that with the Wendy Williams, he says, how you doing? Mondo says he did all that to say he greedy. Exactly. Eviction notice. Eviction notice. Y'all so crazy with these comments and these AB names. Eviction notice says, just say you gay, nigga. 2,000 likes. This is what I want to say. I truly, in my heart, feel like a lot of these dudes that say they pansexual, bisexual, or just gay dudes by a different name. I've never seen Wayne Brady with a woman. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not coming down on him. Nothing wrong with that. For y'all getting my comments and DMs, nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying what I think about the situation. I think the dude is gay. I think he wants to be out and proud with another man, and he's gearing up to do so, but he just wants to get ahead of the headlines, the sensationalism, the blogs, whatever, the media storm, whatever it's going to be. He wants to get ahead of it by just saying, hey, this is what I am. And like I told you guys, never let somebody spray you with your own tea. So that's what he's doing. Instead of being sprayed with his own tea, he's just spilling his tea himself. And what's wrong with that? Nothing. That's actually a smart business move, a smart move in the media, because we love gossip, we love tea, we love rumors, we love outrage, whatever it is, we love it. So just don't give it to the people. Just be open and honest about who you are and spill that tea. That's exactly what he's doing. He's a good-looking man. He makes a ton of money. I'm waiting to see what brother he's going to hop out with. Do y'all think it's going to be a white man, a Latino man, a black man, an Asian man, a trans woman, a woman? Like, who do y'all think he's going to hop out with? Because he is going to hop out with somebody pretty soon. Pretty soon. All right, you guys, that is Wayne Brady. Give me just a moment. StreamYard has been playing games with me all day. That is Wayne Brady. We're going to talk about Damon Wayans. I recently posted Damon Wayans, the Wayans brothers, in my community post, and y'all went in talking about how fine they were. Just saying, I'll take all 4 or 5 brothers, how many there are. They can all, do something strange to me. I'm not going to say what y'all said verbatim, but something like that. Let me go ahead and read this comment here, or this post here concerning Damon Wayans. Give me just a second. Shift everything around. There we go. It says, wait, what? Damon Wayans says his mother would make their siblings kiss in the mouth when they would fight. Quote, I learned how to tongue kiss with Marlon Wayans. Let's get into it.
And how to, even though she sometimes didn't practice what she preached, but how to get past grudges. That's your brother. That is your sister. You love them. They're going, for the rest of your life, they're going to be your brother and sister. That's what my mother gave us, love.
What can people take away from the Wayans family with the way you guys interact? What would you like other families to take most away from the way you interact with your family, or your family interact with each other?
That you never know what could happen or will happen. So all that stuff you hold on to, let it go. I don't always agree with my brothers and sisters. We have our little disagreements.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you never know what tomorrow brings.
Right.
So don't bring tomorrow today, right? Which is, I wish I could have. I know so many people. I don't understand families that don't get along. You don't talk to your brother?
Yeah.
You stop talking to your mother? How'd that happen?
I don't get that.
My mother come kick the door down. She climbing through the window. You don't stop talking to her. But
Right.
That's not how my family. I just wish that people, the funny thing is, like on my set, people are hugging and kissing when they come in, and they tell me, we don't do this in my family.
Well, you should.
Yeah. And they just I got some wonderful cards thanking me. It's not me. It's my family.
Right.
It's how just we are.
You guys would fight. Your mom would make you guys kiss.
Yep, in the mouth.
Huh?
Mm-hmm. I learned how to tongue kiss with Marlon.
Okay, so I wanted to let you guys see the beginning of that video, because you guys already saw the aftermath of it. Anytime an individual comes down hard on people who have to disassociate from their families, I feel like there's a level of misunderstanding and level of judgment that they have to cast onto people like myself who've had to do things like that. And I think it's unfair to do that. Nobody comes into this world wanting to be detached from their birth family. But if your birth family, members of that family, are hell-bent on remaining ignorant, abusive, emotionally abusive, whatever it is, disrespectful, not valuing you as an adult, not treating you like an adult, you have no choice but to sever ties. It's not like people want to do this stuff. So I've been seeing this a lot, even in the gay community, where people will use the fact that they have a good relationship with their family as a flex, as a dig against other gay men who don't have a great relationship with their families. And again, it's not by choice. Like, if you have to separate from your family, many of us have had to do so. It's because we were forced to do that to survive, for our mental health, for our emotional health, for our self-esteem, not because we wanted to do it. God knows many of us have tried to work things out with our relatives, tried to please them. They're never satisfied. They're never happy. They're never going to be happy with us. Why? They don't even love themselves. They're not happy with themselves. So how can they be happy with us? You know? So I'm just going to let that comment roll. Let's get into some comments here. On the post, it says, the Queen of Zamuba says, I know a lot of y'all don't understand dry humor and sarcasm, so please know he was joking about tongue kissing each other. That has 7,000 likes. He may have been joking, but what I will say is dry humor and sarcasm is not Black people's sense of humor. That's not our sense of humor. That is white people's sense of humor. So if people are in the comments and they don't understand it, it's because we don't talk to each other as Black people using sarcasm and dry humor. That will get you your wig split. That will get you, you know, punched in the mouth, punched in the throat. We don't do that stuff to people. You speak plainly and you speak boldly what you have to say and leave it at that. You don't beat around the bush using sarcasm, all these tricks that white people like to use. We don't do that stuff as Black people. So that's the reason why they went in the comments. Madad says, a family full of love. Freckles Abeta says, I will never have nothing bad to say about this family. Whatever their mom did, we all should take notes. They are all successful and they did it together. I love to see it. Yeah, because the parents probably did not pit them against each other. You know, they probably did not have dysfunctional parents. I don't know their full life story, but if you do, let me know in the comments below. But a lot of people who grow up with this mentality as an adult towards their siblings did not have dysfunctional parents. In my mind, maybe this dude had a mother and a father. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he did. But if he did not, even more congrats to them, you know? So that's what Damon Wayans had to say about his mother making him kiss his siblings in the mouth when they would fight as children. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if it's clickbait or not. It could be sarcasm. I'm not sure. Let's read some comments here. Girl Jones says, how old are you? I'm 35, bro. 35, girl. We got Kirk Torian in the house. He says, sup, Alfred. Sorry I'm late to live. How's your night? It's going well. You know, it's work. It's work. I'm working. I work my day job. I come off. I do YouTube and put on the show, you know, so it's work for me, just like it's work for you guys. So I'm glad you tune in and I hope you enjoy. You can catch the playback a little bit later if you want. We got Lawrence in the house. He says, Alfred is such a handsome and smart young man. Thank you, man. Greatly appreciate it. Girl Jones says Wayne was married probably multiple times, I believe. Even more of a red flag. He's probably, you know, booty bumping as well. If you know he's not satisfied with one woman, he needs a man. Lawrence says, please come back to Chicago. We're working on it, bro. Like, we're working on it. Hopefully one day we can get back to Chicago because, again, we have a duplex there, and I'm trying to it would be nice to live somewhere for free. That's all I'm had to say. It would be nice to live somewhere for free, and we're definitely eyeing moving back to Chicago very soon in the coming years. All right, you guys, I want to get back to one of my favorite segments on the show, and that is Queer Money. Let's get into it. Give me just a moment. Here we go. It's the Wolfman, ALFRED with Queer Money. Hit like and subscribe because you heard about me. Hey. Okay, you guys, we're going to talk about Queer Money now. So the topic for this Queer Money segment is about tariffs and job layoffs. This is hugely, massively important. And again, once I start talking about queer money and politics, people like to leave the stream. But if you want to leave, go ahead and leave. But this is going to impact you. Whether you want to look or not, pay attention or not, this is going to hit you. It's hitting. So we all know Trump announced reciprocal tariffs against China, right? He announced it a few days ago. Well, just today, breaking news, he announced an additional, I believe, 50%, 100% tariffs on China, adding up to 104% tariffs total on China. This is going to be a major impact on us as consumers. Major. I cannot name all the household items that we consume from China. And I will get into a list a little bit later. I did some research for you guys. But this is going to be massively huge for us, you know? So I want to talk about why he's doing it and what's going to be impacted by this stuff. Give me just a second, you guys. This is coming straight from the White House. I'm going to read their fact sheet. It says fact sheet. President Donald J. Trump declares national emergency to increase our competitive edge, protect our sovereignty, and strengthen our national and economic security. Excuse me. This is from April 2nd. Pursuing reciprocity, large and persistent annual U.S. goods trade deficits have led to the hollowing out of manufacturing base, resulting in a lack of incentive to increase advanced domestic manufacturing capacity, undermine critical supply chains, and render our defense industrial base dependent on foreign adversaries. So when you think about this tariff, I've approached it from one angle, meaning higher prices for us as consumers. But we're also not looking at why he's doing it in terms of our war with China. Make no mistake, we are in a current war with China. It may be a cold war, a trade war, but it is still a war nonetheless. So what China has been doing is China was allowed to join the World Trade Organization, right? They joined it. But the problem is they have not been following the rules for decades. Like they practice slave labor, they practice currency manipulation, they practice a whole host of illegal behaviors to keep their prices low. So when you keep your prices low and you ship those products out to different countries, the companies in those countries cannot compete with the low prices of China. And when you think about China's government, they own the corporations. They own every company. They can tell you what to do as a human being, as a CEO. They own everything. So we do know that China is forcing children into child labor camps. We know that about them. They're forcing them to work. We do know they're forcing some adults into slave labor, like the Apple manufacturing facilities. They had to put suicide nets up to prevent people from, deleting themselves. We do know they're manipulating their currency to keep it low on purpose. Therefore, they can sell their goods for cheap throughout the world, and we all cannot compete with their cheap prices. These tariffs are just forcing China to finally mark their prices to the world standard, to the rest of the world, because they've been allowed to get away with too much. If you look here in the States, China owns so much in the States, including here in Texas, our roads. A lot of these toll roads here in Texas are bought by the Chinese. And it's dangerous. It's super dangerous. So on one hand, tariffs are going to be painful to us as consumers, but we also need to think about it this way. It's going to protect us as Americans too, because we know China's ripping us off in so many different ways. They're getting rich off of us. And we should not be making our adversaries rich. We should not be doing that. I just hope for less of an impact on us as consumers, because it's going to get tough on us. There's a particular part I want to read. Give me just a second. He talks about taking back our economic sovereignty. We prioritizing manufacturing. You guys already know about that. Addressing trade imbalances. Okay. Give me just a second. Okay, here it is. Tariffs work. Studies have repeatedly shown that tariffs can be an effective tool for reducing or eliminating threats that impair U.S. national security and achieving economic and strategic objectives. I'll read one of these bullet points here. It says a 2024 study on the effects of President Trump's tariffs in his first term found that they strengthened the U.S. economy and led to significant reshoring in industries like manufacturing and steel production. Some of that is true, some of that I cannot verify, but what I will say is that we do know the Chinese almost was able to build a monopoly on steel. And the monopoly produced in America is way higher in quality than the steel produced in China. Excuse me, I meant to say steel, not monopoly. So U.S. steel is much better than China steel. And if China were allowed to have a monopoly on U.S. steel, think about what we use for steel, our buildings, our infrastructure, some cars and whatnot. The quality is just not there. So if we're going to maintain control of certain industries, we do need to tariff China. We need to ensure their economy suffers, just like they've ensured other economies suffer. And what they're doing is they're using our economic stimulation to their economy to go around the world and have influence around the globe. So what's going to happen with these tariffs, if this is what Trump's plan is, I feel like his plan is this. Eventually, these other countries will have to pick a side. Either going to be siding with the U.S. in our economy, our trade policies, or you're going to side with the East, Russia and China with their economy and their trade policies. Pick a side. Because people like the European Union would not be able to ride the fence anymore. They won't. And I kind of agree with that. Pick a side. We cannot, again, co-mingle with people who have different beliefs from us. It's not going to work. The money is not worth it. The math is not mathing. It's not going to work. They're not playing by the same rules. Excuse me, guys. Okay, guys, I want to move on to my next article here about tariffs. This is 20 items and goods most exposed to price shocks from Trump tariffs. Okay, let's get into it. I want to read this graph here. So these are the top 20 commodity price effects from all 2025 tariffs. Leather products are going to go up by 18.3%. Gloves, handbags, etc. Excuse me, guys. Clothing, shoes going up by 16.9%. Crops, industrial crops like hemp will grow up 13.3%. Metals, primarily critical minerals, will go up by 12.3%. Wool and silk, 10.9%. Processed rice, 10.3%. Very important because you need rice and beans. That's a cheap way to have a balanced meal. Rice and beans contains all the amino acids you need for your body to be healthy. So the fact that processed rice is going up 10.3%, you may want to buy some now as quickly as possible and stock up on your rice. Electrical equipment, household appliances, etc. are going to go up by 10%. Textiles, rugs, curtains, 9.6%. Motor vehicles and parts, 8.4%. Can you imagine how expensive that will be if you have like a Porsche or Mercedes, a Lambo, even a Toyota, a Honda? How expensive this stuff is going to be to repair, a simple light. God forbid your transmission go out, but this stuff is going to get crazy. Machinery and equipment, power tools, turbines, other industrial equipment going up by 6.6%. Ferrous metals, iron and steel, 6.5%. Rubber and plastic products, which is everything that we consume. Everything we consume is encased in plastic. Think about that. Plastic products, Tupperware, plastic bottles, tires, 6.4%. Mineral products going up by 6.4% as well. Transport equipment, motorcycles, bicycles, 6%. Metal products, nuts, bolts, screws, cutlery, 5.8%. Manufacturers, jewelry, sporting equipment, medical equipment, 4.8%. Computer, electronic, optical, 4.5%. Fishing, 4%. Vegetables, fruit and nuts, 4%. Wood products, 3.3%. Bro, if you haven't started a garden, it's sounding right, sounding good right about now. Go ahead and start that garden. If you have not already, start that garden. Let me read some comments here. Girl Jones says, Keenan and Sean are my favorite. Okay. Lauren says, tariffs are a tax. We are screwed. We are screwed. We are. Prices will go dramatically high. And, this leads me to my next sector in queer money is talking about layoffs, because not only are we going to see high prices, you guys, the layoffs are going to escalate dramatically. So just give me just a moment here to talk about this with you all. This is straight from the federal government talking about layoffs. They're going to present some figures for you all. I just want to read this here. Over the last 2 months, Doge actions have been attributed to 280,000 layoff plans of federal workers and contractors impacting 27 agencies, according to Challenger Tracking. Another 4,000 job cuts has come from the downstream effect of cutting federal aid or ending contracts, impacting mostly nonprofits and health organizations. Listen, this is crazy. This is absolutely insane. March's total is the third highest monthly total ever recorded, meaning layoffs. The highest monthly total occurred in April 2020 when 671,000 cuts were recorded, followed by May 2020 with 397,000. It is the highest total of the month of March on record since Challenger began reporting on job cut plans in 1989. So far this year, employers have announced almost 500,000 layoffs, the highest year to date in quarterly total since Q1 2009. That was right after the Great Recession of 2008. I don't know if you guys were around during that time, but I was. It was insane, bro. It was insane. People were like, I was watching my neighbors get their houses foreclosed on and go across the street and live in tents at the fairgrounds. This was insane. This is why I come in here and tell y'all to get prepared, because this could happen again. Unfortunately, during the 2009, 2008 recession, we lost our house. That got foreclosed on. We ended up moving to Dallas, Texas to start a new life in Dallas during that time. I remember us being so strapped for cash in jobs that we literally had to scrape up change. I was 18, 19 at this time to try to get McDonald's and whatnot because things are so crazy. But I bring this story up because I want you guys to learn from this stuff. I don't want you guys to do what happened to us back in those days because I was too young to know any better or do any better. I was just 18 or 19, like I said before. Start preparing now. It would be such a mistake to hear all this data, to just watch the news and watch me talk about this stuff and not do anything to prepare. This is the real world. This is not just happening on social media, happening to other people. This can happen to you as well. So to prepare, I've talked to you guys before, an emergency fund. If you're still employed, putting away a few dollars, $10, $50, every paycheck into an emergency fund in your household, cash, you can easily grab in the case you need to make a repair or some type of emergency. It is critically important that you have an emergency fund. Number 2, a savings account. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. A savings account. I've talked to you guys about this before. You want to have a high yield savings account. I use Dollar Savings Direct. Why? There are no fees to keep your money in the bank, and they offer a 4 to 7% return on your investment, on your savings. That is better than letting it sit in your house. 4 to 7% is pretty decent, more than decent. Dollar Savings Direct is an online high yield savings account based in New York City. We've been using it for years. I highly recommend online banking for your savings account. Highly recommend it. We talked about 401k plans, Roth IRAs. If you don't have a 401k plan provided by your employer, go ahead and go to any bank and open up a Roth IRA. Do it. That's a retirement account. Put away money whenever you have the chance. Just put away money every paycheck and let that money compound using compound interest so you can use it when it's time for you to retire because you just don't know what's going to happen to this economy. Number 4, we talked about investment accounts. In my latest Career Money episode on my channel, I put a link into my Acorns account. Check out Acorns. I'm going to put a link here in the comment section of this video after the show. But Acorns is great. You know, Acorns allows you to not only have a retirement account, an investment account, an emergency fund, pretty much a checking account as well. Anything you need, you can do it on the Acorns app. You know, their fees are not that expensive. They make it easy to invest by just rounding up your purchases from every purchase you make. They just take the nearest dollar amount and round it up and put it into your investment portfolio. And you don't even see it. It's painless. It's painless. So let's recap. We got the emergency fund. We got the high yield savings account. We got the investment account. We talked about the Roth IRA and the 401k plan. 4 things you need to do. Now, can I add a 5th one? Let me just add a 5th one. Stop consuming so much. Bro, like if we don't stop consuming so much, we're going to be in trouble because the layoffs have just started. We just finished Q1 of 2025. And the data already said 500,000 people have been laid off thus far. If y'all think this is over, y'all in for a rude awakening. This is not over. This is not over, even for myself. I just had a conversation with my husband today. This is where we are financially. This is what we're going to do if I lose my job. This is what we need to be doing now to prepare if I do lose my job. Everybody needs to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, what are you doing? You're behind. You're behind. Have a plan, be saving, have an emergency fund, etc., etc. Very important, you guys. Very important. Let me see here. Any more data points I want to present here? All right. So here are the industries with the biggest cutoffs here, the biggest layoffs. I'll present this really quickly. We have government and Doge. Government, we talked about the government cuts. Technology, they lost a ton of jobs. Retail, if you're in that industry, be mindful. There is a 370% increase in retail job cuts announced in comparison from Q1 2024. 370% increase. It's going to happen. So just be mindful. If you're in retail, go ahead and start preparing, looking for another job, looking for a side hustle, whatever it is. I talked about YouTube. If you have not already, start yourself a YouTube channel pronto. Consumer automotive, they're going to take a hit. Financial, going to take a hit. Media news cuts, also massive layoffs. Okay. Let's talk about when it's going to occur. All right. Hiring plans. Let's talk about hiring plans and I'll move on to politics. So it says hiring plans fall to lowest level since 2012. That's crazy. Companies' hiring plans fell in March from 34,000 jobs in February to 13,000 jobs so far this year. Companies plan to hire 53,000 workers, a 16% decrease from the 64,000 new hires announced in the first quarter of 2024. 16% decrease. It is the lowest Q1 hiring total since 2012, when 52,000 new hiring plans were announced. So not only are they increasing the layoffs, but they're also decreasing how much they hire. You know, I feel like this is one big plan to reduce inflation, because the Fed came out years ago and said the only way they're going to be able to cut interest rates and reduce inflation if people don't have money is if people don't have money. And what will it take for us not to have money? Losing our jobs, being laid off, not having income stream. That's the only way to get prices down. You combine that with the tariffs, we're in trouble. The average American, the middle class, is in trouble. So with that being said, just prepare, you guys, prepare. I'll keep my Queer Money episodes rolling throughout the week, one episode per week, because this is very much relevant to all of our lives. We can't just be entertaining every single day. We got to talk about real world stuff too. Let's get into the comments here. Girl Jones says, I'm behind in the video. You hit on the bullseye about family. Yep, absolutely. Lauren says, Canada and Mexico have been good traders with us. They have been, but again, I want to ask you this question. Is it right that they put tariffs on us, but we're not allowed to put tariffs on them? And what a tariff does is it protects their economic industries in their countries by not allowing our American companies to compete in their countries. That's what it does. Like, it doesn't allow certain industries in America to compete in Mexico and Canada. So is that fair? Is that helping the U.S. economy if we're not allowed to go into these countries that we have good trading partnerships with, if we can't go in there and also have our industries and companies there present? Is that fair? I don't think so. I just think we need to be mindful about how we interact with Canada and Mexico, because we need our food. We need Mexico for food. Excuse me, big time for food, big time. Without Mexico, vegetables, fruits, you name it, we're out of luck. Canada, without them, energy, we're out of luck. Certain states depend on Canada for energy, we're out of luck. Just buckle up, y'all. I'm sorry I had to pause and really let that sink in, because this is about to get crazy. 104% tariffs on China. Everything we buy is from China. All the companies we buy from have their manufacturing facilities in China. I kind of blame these companies because it's because of their greed. The Green New Deal, NAFTA, yeah, you're right. It's because of their greed that they took American jobs away, factories away from Americans, and decided to build them up in China to make more money, to earn profit. But the good part about that was it just resulted in lower costs and lower prices for us as Americans. But we got to, at some point, turn the table, because China's not playing. Like, China's taking everything we're manufacturing over there and copying it and doing it better. They don't have the ability to be creative. All they do is copy. And that's what I think Trump wants to cut down on. If they're going to be the new economic world power, they need to be creative, intuitive on their own. They can't be taking our products like Amazon and creating knockoffs and doing better with those knockoffs than we are with our own products. They can't be doing that anymore. All right. Thank you, Lawrence, for the comment. You said NAFTA reduced tariffs and non-tariff barriers. It did, but there were still tariffs present for certain countries. They were still there for certain countries. So I think it just depends. I don't know what's going to happen with these tariffs. I'm not saying they're good or bad. I'm just looking at it from both angles, and I see it both ways, because what China's doing is it's so crazy. They're just doing so much stuff, even claiming they're a third world country to prevent from paying the World Trade Organization, paying their dues. They're just claiming they're a third world developing country, therefore they don't have to pay. But we all know the Chinese government is rich as hell. Sean Wright, welcome to stream, man. He says, hey, Alfred, happy to catch you live. Yeah, thank you for joining, man. So we're talking about China. Give me just a second here. I want to mention, now that we're talking about China, this is something important, and it may get me demonetized, and my stream may get shut down. I don't know. Let's go back to 2020. Something tells me that another reason why Trump is putting these tariffs on China is because he feels like China was responsible for that pandemic that put him out of office. back in 2020, I was in seminary school and we had a meeting about this. And I remember telling people, I think the only reason why the pandemic happened was to get Trump out of office. I truly believe that. And now I'm starting to believe it anymore. Like, I feel like it was only to get him out of office. That was the only way to get that man out of office, was sparking that pandemic. First, he said it wasn't China. First, he said it did not come from Wuhan. That was just a conspiracy theory. Years later, now they're saying, oh, yes, it did come from China. It did leak from a clinical lab in Wuhan, China. So it's like, it just feels like payback. Trump and China going back and forth, tit for tat, payback, because they allegedly started that pandemic. What do y'all think? I don't know. All right, you guys, let me read some more comments. I'll go back to my next segment. Yes, I read Sean's comment. All right, let's go to my next segment, which is politics. Give me just a second, you guys. Just a minute.
I will vote for Donald Trump. I will vote for Donald Trump.
Okay, that was I will vote for Donald Trump. Them Cubans, them Cubanos, them Mexicanos, those Dominicanos, whatever they call themselves, they learned a huge lesson talking about I will vote for Donald Trump. Anyhow, we're going to talk about the April 5th protests because a lot went down April 5th. Everybody and their mom was there except us black people. Let's get into it. It's straight from TikTok. Let me wind it back a little bit. Give me just a second. Here we go. All right. That's a Trump supporter. Okay, you guys. I've seen a lot of protests. I'll read some comments in a second. I've seen a lot of protests throughout my lifetime. I've never seen so many white people, older white people specifically, get out there and protest. I feel like it's only because they're threatening to cut Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, and other beneficiary programs. And it's unfortunate that it takes something to happen to them personally for them to care about it. They wouldn't care what they said about black people, the gays, the immigrants, Latinos, Mexicans, whatever. They didn't care about none of that. These white people did not. They only cared about it when it started to affect their pocketbooks, their pockets individually. And that's the sad part. And that's why it's hard for me to feel bad for people who are out here protesting and whatnot. I get it. Protest for everybody's rights. And I get it. It's great. But at the same time, why was this the catalyst to wake you up? Why did you not believe black people the first time when we were telling you guys this man is no good? Like, why did y'all not believe us? So y'all voted for this man. Now y'all finding out. And I don't feel bad. I don't feel no way. So let me read some comments. This is from Cleveland.com. Cleveland.com. That's a real name. It says things got a bit tense between this Trump supporter and April 5 hands-off protesters in Cleveland. This is the only encounter of this nature we saw. So despite that encounter being a little bit violent, I'm going to say a little bit rowdy, there were no gas bombs. There were no police there. There were no tasers. There were no rubber bullets. These white people on a large scale got to protest without police encounters. And we all saw what happened during 2020 during the George Floyd protest. They were not playing. The police were not playing. The SWAT team was out. National Guard was out. People were not playing. So it's interesting. Let's use some comments here. Lila says, and yet no one touched him. You see the difference? That has almost 10,000 likes. Libra's son says, MAGAs often fly Trump flags instead of American flags, yet they don't think they're in a cult. That has almost 50,000 likes, you guys. Rob from Berea says, what? The Trump supporter is an old white guy? No. Jeff says, you know he hated hitting a red light right there. That has 60,000 likes. Donna says, Trump's the man. All right. Sorry, you guys, for the background noise. I think my Oh, you took him to the store? Oh, okay, good. Sorry about that, you guys. Just some background noise there. Last comment. KP loves Cersei says, "Thank you for keeping this non-violent. Great job, patriots." And by patriots, I mean those fighting and marching for democracy. You know, the actual definition of an American patriot. They're saying this stuff because with Trump, all these things that he is doing, circumventing Congress, it's illegal. It's illegal what he's doing with these terrorists, deporting people. Congress makes the decisions about this stuff. Only they can make decisions about it. But for some reason, they're giving up their power to Trump, allowing him to make the decision and not saying anything about it. That is a dangerous precedent. That means Congress is a lame duck. And all their power is now in the hands of Donald Trump in the executive office, executive branch. Dangerous, very, very much dangerous. Congress is not doing its job. Our representatives are not doing their job. Let me read some comments here before I go to the next video. John just says, half those people voted for him. You get what you pay for. They did. They voted based on hatred. Who would hurt the people they hate the most? That's why they voted for him. And it's sad. But now they're finding out that it's costly to be hateful. You know, it's costly to go out there and hate other people. It hurts you too. I think white people don't see it that way. For centuries, it's been one way where they're willing to do things to hurt us, even if that means hurting them. You know, I just hope they have a wake-up call and they have a change of heart. Thank you, John, for joining the stream, and thank you for the comment. I really appreciate it. Lauren says, I marched in Rhode Island. Okay, congratulations. I'm not against it. You know, I know some black people decided to go out, and most of us did not. But thank you for joining the march and fighting for our rights. I really appreciate it. Next video. Give me just a moment, you guys. Go to my next video.
Did you know that yesterday's hands-off protests were peaceful, not because black people didn't show up, but because white people did? Hello, I'm Earl from CBU, Crackers Being Useful, and I want to get into this. I've been seeing some stuff about how peaceful the protests were yesterday, and people are correlating that with the fact that most black people stayed at home. If anything, this proves how aggressive the police are with black protesters. It has nothing to do with the protesters that didn't show up. It has everything to do with the protesters that did show up. It was peaceful because white people are treated differently by the police than black people. And another thing I want to add right here at the end is I'm seeing a lot of stuff from white folks talking about how we got to do something because they were raised white trash, they were raised poor, so on and so forth. I want you to stop for a second. If you've been telling yourself this, if you've been telling yourself that you know the black experience because you are white trash or raised poor, I need you to stop equating poverty with black people.
Absolutely.
Please. Y'all have a good day.
That man spoke some serious facts. Give me just a second. He spoke some serious facts. We do need to stop equating poverty with black people because all black people were not raised in poverty. All of us are not poor. Even if we were raised in poverty, all of us are not poor. So this man is speaking facts. I thank him for his commentary. Cut Records in the comments says, Crackers Being Useful. That has 13,000 likes. Nurse Mommy says, yes, stop equating poverty to black people. 3,000 likes. Champagne Taste says, I mean, January 6th was a great example of that too. 6,000 likes. That has 95 replies. Let me see what they said. Somebody said about January 6th, somebody said this, God, the fact some insurrectionists were escorted down the stairs by the police on January 6th was such an obvious sign of how differently we're treated based on skin color. It was crazy to watch that. I was watching it from Mexico. And I was like, man, I can't believe what I'm seeing. Like, these people were actually allowed to storm the Capitol. You know, it reminds me of Nazi Germany back in the 1930s and 40s and whatnot. How Hitler came to power was his Gestapo, his military force, actually burned down Parliament, which would be equivalent to our Capitol building. They burned it down. And I can honestly see Trump's and his posse doing the same things, like trying to tear down the infrastructure, burning it down, doing whatever they can to create chaos so he can stay in power, you know? So, yeah, I agree with that comment. Let's read another comment. Run Lift Diva says the best comment ever. Stop equating poverty with black people. Demito Jackson says we've been told y'all this. We've been told y'all this, and that a white person has to say it for you to listen shows how racist you are. FYI, you aren't a good ally if it takes a white voice for you to listen. Last comment. Evil Queen says Dallas blocked off streets Saturday, but when we protested in 2020, we got arrested if we stepped into the street. Shame on Dallas Police Department. You know, I don't know what to say. We saw the 2020 protests. We saw what happened on April 5th, 2025. There was a stark difference. All I will say is that I'm happy it's the white people protesting this time, because we as black people are tired of fighting for everybody's rights and being shitted on. Even fighting for the rights of immigrants and them just coming to this country and looking down on us. Like, how does that work? How do you look down on the people that are the reason why you're allowed to come to the country? The reason why you're allowed to go to the schools you go to. The reason why you're allowed to go to the hospitals you want to go to. You know, the reasons why you're allowed to shop where you want to shop and own businesses and stuff like that in the U.S. and live where you want to live. It's all because of black people. These white people didn't give us an inch. We took it. We fought for it. We bled for it. But yet, they still look down on us. Still look down on us. So therefore, fight yourself. Mass deportations, y'all better get out there and fight. You know, tariffs too high, get out there and fight. So I think black people have gotten the collective message. We are tired and we are done. We're done. If it's not a strictly black, pro-black agenda, we're out of it. Y'all handle it. You know, as a gay black person, what I will say is that I kind of feel like I have an obligation to stand up and say something for my community, the gay community as well. So I'll think about how I want to word my message and whatnot, how I want to show my support, because I do want to keep doing that on my show, in my day-to-day life as well. So we'll see. Let's go to my next video here. So black people line dancing while everybody protesting. One thing about black people, we gonna line dance. In our house music to go with it. Shout out to Chicago. I love how black people don't give an F. They just like, I'm gonna live my life, I'm gonna enjoy it. We line dancing. Hey. All right, we saw our brothers and sisters out there dancing while everybody's protesting. Let's read some comments here. Cat Williams equals revelation. That's from Miss G. Kendrick Lamar equals revolution. Black people in America equals resolution. We decided to keep moving forward together. Do you see this? This is us. Brothers and sisters, fellas, brothers, listen to me. There's a reason why people like Beyonce chose the American flag as imagery, why it's such a powerful symbol in the Cowboy Carter album. Same thing with Kendrick Lamar. There's a reason why they chose the colors of the American flag as symbols to remind us that we are Americans, that these people try to teach us or tell us that we're not American enough. We don't belong here, but we are America. We built America. Therefore, we are America. You know, there is no America without black people. There can never be an America without black people, ever. So although we're going through a lot in this country, be proud of who we are and don't be afraid to stand up for our rights when the time is right. You know, if protesting is not a thing for us right now, there's other ways we can show support. We can donate. We can cheer on our allies who are out there protesting. But never forget, as a black person, you are an American as well, because our ancestors helped to build this country. Like I said before, there is no America without black people, period, including black, gay, trans, bisexual, queer, whatever you want to call it, people. There is no America without us. So yes, I think these celebrities knew this was going to come. A lot of them chose to leave the country. Other people chose to warn us with their imagery and their art. Like I said, Beyonce, Kendrick Lamar. I even went out and bought myself an American flag headband. I did it for the Cowboy Carter tour, but it's because despite it all, I'm not going to let these people take away my identity as an American. It won't happen. It won't happen. Despite all the shit we've been through in this country, it's still our birthright. And I'm not leaving or giving it up until I get everything that's owed to me via this country. So yes, I'm an effing American, and we should be proud about that, and we should stand up. All right, Twin says, I'm glad we're in this space of self-preservation. We need it. 2020 was hard. I think 2020 was so heavy on us as Black people. I remember just like, watching the George Floyd verdict be announced, and just, I was in Mexico during this time too. And just breathing a sigh of relief. Like, I felt the heaviness of watching a man die like that. It was brutal. It was traumatic. It was scarring to see the blatant disregard for human life. I've never seen that before at the hands of a police officer. I've never seen it. I'm sure that happens every single day. But the fact that that dude kneed on his neck for 10 minutes, 10 effing minutes, I've never seen anything like it. And I hope to never see anything like it after that incident. Never. So we're tired. We showed up in numbers for Kamala Harris because we knew this man was a grifter. We knew he was going to take the economy. We knew he was going to, be all racist and homophobic and everything else, every type of phobic you can imagine. But nobody listened to us. Latino men, white women, they put this man in power. And I hope they get ready to stand up to, get him out of power, because that man ain't going nowhere. All right, thank you, Twinlet, for the comment. We got John in the house. He says, I'm watching you for the movies, watching all these white people do backflips, not to sit next to me. Okay, bro, yeah. I kind of like a little space between myself and the movies, too, especially when I'm going there by myself. I just, 2 chairs in between me, in case my stomach gets to rumbling, all the works. Everything tends to happen when you're in a movie theater. So, yeah, I don't blame you, man. Have your space. Enjoy your time. Lauren says, Alfred is so, okay. Okay, bro. I don't think I'm mad. I'm just trying to, inform you of what's happening. We got Richard running the house, one of my OG subscribers. I think this dude was supporting me back in my ministry days. So thank you, Richard, for all your love and support. I appreciate it. You said white women are the most racist and privileged out of every group. Richard, are you a white person? Because I want to be mindful about what I'm about to say, because I don't want to offend my white subscribers, my white counterparts. But before I entered corporate America, my mom sat me down. She had a long talk with me, and she said this. Alfred, don't you ever forget this. Don't you ever go into these people's companies and trust a blonde-haired white woman. And I was young. I was a young man, young gay man during that time. I thought I knew everything, and I wasn't listening. But at 35, I will say she was right. She was right. I've been backstabbed so many times by WWs. And I just learned my lesson. Everybody's not your friend. Everybody is not every colleague you meet is not worthy of hearing your story. Sometimes people pretend to be in your good graces. They want to get on your safe side, and they want to pretend to be an ally just to get you to mess up. Sometimes people feed you misinformation on the job. They may train you the wrong way so you can get in trouble and lose your job. There's a plethora of reasons why we as Black, specifically gay Black men, may feel or may be targeted in the corporate work environment. There are a plethora of reasons. And it all comes down to people just simply not liking you. And that's a sad part. Like, most of the time it's not about performance. It could be that. It could be about performance. Most of the time it's just, I don't want you as my coworker. I'd rather have somebody else that makes you feel safe and comfortable working side by side with me. So it's tough. It's tough. Thank you, Richard Runner. And they also privilege from DEI. They also benefit from DEI, so they get a plethora of benefits, they do. Richard Runner says, I love you, bro. I've been here since the beginning. Yes, you have. Thank you so much. I'm going to get through all your comments, and I will get back to the show. You said I'm half white, half Hispanic, and no, it's not offensive. Okay, thank you for not taking it offensively. I don't mean it offensively. When I come on my channel, on my live streams, I like to talk the truth. And, I like to be a truth teller, have honest conversations about what's going on in the world, politics, money, whatever it is. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. You said WWs are not a friend, even if they smile at you and pretend to be a friend. Exactly. You got to be very careful. A smile can be deceiving. Sarcasm, like I mentioned before, can be deceiving. Man, I have some cringy moments in my life, my history, when I was not woke enough. I just found myself in some very embarrassing moments with white people, older white people, that I wish I knew enough not to put myself in a position to be exposed to. because they were definitely playing games. There was some sarcasm. There was some disrespect that I was not privy to because I was too young. I was 17, 18. I didn't know anything about it. Now at 35, I would have checked it. I would have never, sought to be in their company or their good graces, but I didn't know any better at that time. Thank you, Richard Runner, for your comment. All right, you guys have been over. Man, time goes by so quick. I've been on for over an hour and 20 minutes. I greatly appreciate you guys joining the stream. I got to get back to my husband in my life as well, so I greatly appreciate it once again. Wolf is back. Wolf Pack. Take care. Peace.
I don't want to say a nigga bluff, nigga kill, nigga up. Nigga, what's